As customary, we always have a word of prayer, and I've asked Commissioner Dorsey if he would lead us in this prayer at this time.
Let us pray. Our precious Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to live here in the United States, the greatest country on planet Earth. We thank you for the many men and women throughout the years who have fought for the freedoms that we enjoy here as American citizens. We ask that you be with each of those who may be in harm's way in these times of uncertainty as they continue to defend us and defend democracy throughout the planet Earth. We also ask that you be with the many men and women in law enforcement, EMS, fire, and other first responder branches as they protect us and keep us safe. We know that they dedicate their lives and their careers to keeping us safe, and we ask that you keep them out of harm's way. We ask that you be with each member of this board and give us the wisdom to make the decisions that are in the best interest of the citizens of Hart County. And we ask that you grant traveling mercies to each and every one who's come out tonight and see that everyone gets home safe to their families at the conclusion of the people's businesses. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Let's all stand for our pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We'll call to order our Tuesday, April 11th, 2023 Hart County Board of Commissioners meeting. First of all, I'd like to welcome each one here tonight. It's good to see you here in person. And for those that may be watching on HTC Channel 3, we welcome you also. And on our Hart County Board of Commissioners YouTube channel. So any of those media outlets are here in person. We welcome all of you. First on the agenda is to approve the agenda. And we need to add personnel to executive session. That's the only thing I had. Did anybody?
Mr. Sheriff?
Yes.
May we add to 12B? I also have the town of Bowersville agreement with me.
Okay.
Identical to the city, I think.
Okay. With those amendments, can we get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Got a motion by Commissioner Teasley, a second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Brown. Any discussion? If not, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? It's a 5-0 vote. Okay, we'll move on down to approve the minutes of the previous meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to those?
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the 3/28/23 regular meeting.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Bennett and a second by Commissioner Teasley. Any discussion? If not, we'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Will now be recorded.
Is that terrible?
What's that, Frankie?
I don't know, it sounds like we're getting beamed in by Scotty.
All right, well, it was a 5-0 vote, okay. All right, now we'll move on to remarks by invited guests, committees, or authorities. We have none. Reports by Constitutional Officer, Department Head. Ms. Kim, do you have anything? Okay. County Administrator's report. Terrell's joining us via media here. He's at Emergency Management Conference. So, Terrell, if you take the floor now.
All right. All right. Look, the total revenue for March was $146,890. Tax was $823,000 million. That left the variance of a negative 76,187. Year-to-date reserve is $3,959,780. The real property brought in $80,029. In the month of March, Moss brought in $297,681. EMS fees came in at $121,104. Vehicle tag fees came in at $115,306. If you look at that, we're at 47% collections for the year, and we're 8% under budget right now. I'll be glad to answer any questions. Other than that, that's all the report I have.
Okay. Anyone got any questions? Anyone from the public got any questions? If not, we thank you for that, Terrell. Appreciate it. All right, we'll move on to Chairman's report. I really don't have anything to report at this time. We'll move on to District 1. Commissioner Bennett.
I don't have anything to report at this time. I'd just like to thank all of our departments for the hard work they do. I get a lot of people telling me that we need to thank them, so I want to thank them right here so everybody can hear it. So those guys out there doing a great job with all of our road departments, our offices uptown, our clerks, everyone is. So everybody keep it in mind that Park County people do work hard to keep our county safe, end up and running properly. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. District 2.
I agree with Commissioner Bennett. I appreciate all our county employees, our public safety, EMS, EMTs, fire department. One thing, I know we've been working on it, like our YouTube meetings. Had a few phone calls about that, and I hope that we've got the problem straightened out where people can see them and hear what we got going on. That's all I got.
All right. Thank you. District 4, Commissioner Brown.
Terrell, are you still with us? Is he off?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. And I may be, I know I'm kind of beating a dead horse here, but the Whitworth detail, do we have any update on that, or if that's going to be even an option for us in the future?
I'm sorry, what was your question again, Jeff?
The Whitworth inmate detail, is that something? Go ahead.
Hopefully we can get contract with them, so whenever they get the guards, I hope they get us approved back out. I'll check with them when I get back.
Okay.
First next week.
The reason why I'm following up on it is, as most folks know, I mean, we have a ton of boat ramps, and it's just not feasible for Jim and the crew nor the road department to service all these boat ramps and keeping them clean from trash dumping to grass cutting. And this is where this Whitworth facility comes in and helps us out a lot. So hopefully we can get them back going to give some relief to our other departments where we're struggling. And last thing I had was on LMIG, and correct me if I'm wrong, Terrell, but basically I didn't look into this fully, but I heard that the governor approved funds to offset the gas tax that was lost that would be coming to counties to supplement the lost funds that we were losing from the absence of the gas tax. Have you heard anything of that?
That's right.
I haven't heard it, but so far our LMIG money has been held the same. They will come in the next fiscal year, on their fiscal year, if there's going to be a shortage. I haven't seen any numbers yet.
Okay. So even if he approves funds, is what I'm getting at, that would change the roads that were approved and the amount of paving that was approved for this year. We wouldn't all of a sudden, be granted more funds to be able to pave more roads.
Yeah, correct. They haven't came out with their 23 money. They haven't came out with any figures yet that I've seen.
Okay. Thank you, Terry. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
All right, District 5, Commissioner Dorsey.
I don't have anything to report, sir.
All right. We'll move on to old business, setback variance, United Granulation Services, Rose Acres. You have it in your packet there as what's being requested. Mr. Finley, do you have anything you would want to say to that?
Well,
If you would, if you had some more copies of some materials and stuff you want.
Site plan. These are to scale. I went out and measured everything. And we are adding a new driveway at the far end away from gold line to this existing facility. And from Redline Church Road to our new driveway where the trucks will all be coming in and out, it will, it's 905 feet from the center of Redline Church Road to the center of my new driveway. So, and there's no way that my building is going to impact the visibility of people coming out of Redline Church Road into Airline Goldmine Road.
Okay.
And that's pretty much a straight shot right there, too.
Yeah, it's I've got a picture, one picture here that I took sitting at the stop line in Redline Church Road. And my building will not go out past, there's a big transformer sitting on site. My building will not go out past it. And if you want to look at the picture, you can see all the way up to there.
Okay.
I can see bottles with it, my eyes can put it up.
I'll make a motion, we grant the variance.
I'll second.
Okay. We got a motion to Commissioner Dorsey to grant the variance. Second by Commissioner Bennett. Any other discussion? If not, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? It's 5-0 vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles.
All right, next on the agenda is setback variance for Ryan Millward, 2353 Lightwood Road partial. This was, we didn't take any action on this because we got this information late, and is there anyone here? Is Ryan here? Okay. But the biggest problem I had, that there was no setback at all. It was on the property line. And I'm willing to work with people, but being on the property line is a little too much, in my opinion. I mean, there's 4 other people up here. If anyone wants to make a motion to grant it or not grant it, then we'll have discussion.
I'll make a motion to table this until Mr. Millwood shows up to represent, because according to the drawings in our packet, it looks like he has moved the building off of the line, but there's no footages there.
Yeah.
So I don't see anything there. I'm like you, willing to work with anyone, so I'd just like to make the motion to table it until he shows up or makes arrangements to say he's going to be here to defend his actions.
I'll give you a second on that.
Okay, we've got a motion by Commissioner Bennett, second by Commissioner Teasley.
Can we back up in front of a minute?
Okay,
They didn't take
take it off the table.
to take it off the table.
Okay.
A or B.
Well,
It wasn't tucked on the table, it was no action, wasn't it?
the A was, I don't know about the 14th. The 14th was tabled.
No.
On the list it was tabled, but I have to look back and
Okay. I don't know who made the motion to table it.
I don't remember being a table.
Talking about table last meeting?
The 14th.
I didn't think we did table it.
We didn't take no action.
We didn't take no action.
That's what I thought too, we took no action.
Okay.
I want to say that you were the one that said, let's just take no action, because we got it late.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the drawing's similar to, it's almost similar to what we had last time, but there's no secondary options here. And like Commissioner Bennett said, there's no footage shown here. So, I mean, I would like to see something that, gives options. Can he move it further back? Is there no options of moving it further back? What's the actual footage from the property line?
Right. There's no numbers there.
Things like that. It'd be tough for anybody to approve that just basis off a drawing. So let's
Okay.
go ahead with it.
Well,
No action was taken according to the minutes.
right, okay. All right. So this time we've got a motion for a table by Commissioner Bennett and a second by Commissioner Teasley.
That's right.
Any discussion? All right, we'll take a vote to table it. It's a 5-0 vote. Okay. Next on the agenda is 12C, the Gumpster LLC agreement. I'm sure we've all been made aware of who Gumpster is, but for the public that may not know, it's an automatic machine where you can bring your trash and for a fee, put it in this little cute little box here, and it goes in there, rotates it, and puts it in a larger container, and you can use it 24/7. Anytime you don't have to buy the orange bags to put in it. You just, any trash bag will work, and it's a 30, how many gallon bag was it? 3, how many? 30 gallon bag, up to a 30 gallon bag for a fee of, what was you going to have?
That's yet to be decided.
Okay. But anyway, that's what the Gumpster deal is, and Ms. Kim has worked and with an agreement here, and I'll let you take the floor now.
We attempted to keep this as much on level as we could with the current trash franchise agreements. So other than picking up on a regular basis, everything else is the same. We granted Gumpsters a lease, 7 by 33 foot space. And of course, they will be responsible for putting their own drive in, for modifying the fence to fit their machine, and for keeping the area neat and of course free of any rodents that might be attracted to trash or whatnot. Everything else is the same as our current contracts. There is a per cycle fee that would come to the county. That's on page 2 of 9. And there is, they would be required, of course, to keep the trash inside Hart County and to use our station and our tipping fees for that trash.
Right. Mr. Kim, that's all
Solid
agreeable?
waste, excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead. You'd like to say something?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, I am in agreement to all the conditions inside the agreement. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to authorize Chairman Sayre to sign this contract.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion by Commissioner Bennett, second by Commissioner Dorsey. Any other discussion? Any questions from the public? If not, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? It's a 5-0 vote.
Mr. Chair, there are 2 places to date that. One is the date, that's the date on the front, and then the commencement date on the inside. Are you okay with that starting today? Is there, okay. So,
Okay.
today's the date twice.
All right. Thank you. All right.
Come to see us about a year now. You still going to come to see us after this?
When he comes down, he'll be bringing you a check.
12D, Town of Irisville Agreement. Ms. Kim?
That's 13D.
I'm sorry. What?
Skip that.
Oh, did I? Oh, it was new business? Okay, so I'm sorry. I wrote it in the wrong place. All right, 13A, State Retirement Proposed Certified Correctional Officers. Basically, go ahead, Chair.
It's the same retirement we pay on certified deputies, certified communication officers. We found out last week, the correctional correctional officers at the jail are approved by the state for the state retirement. So all we're asking is to do the same $25 a month retirement payment we do for firemen, deputies, communication officers, into the state retirement system. This is for full-time officers only. Part-time don't qualify through the state, just full-time certified correctional officers.
All right.
I make a motion that we approve this request.
Okay, got a motion by Commissioner Teasley. Have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Brown, and I would like to say I appreciate this being included in this, because these correctional officers, they have a tough job also, and my hat's off to these folks that are willing to work in these areas. So we got a motion by Commissioner Teasley, second by Commissioner Brown. Any discussion? If not, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? It's a 5-0 vote. All right, we'll move on to setback variance for Scott Smith, Majestic Shores. Is anyone here to speak on that? Sure.
Chairman and Commissioners, my name is Scott Schmidt, and we are the builder of record at Majestic Shores. It's a community down at the end of the road of Carter's Ferry. And so upon going through the process of purchasing, the plat showed several setbacks. So we designed a house. It's there at the entrance. And the home's a very large, spacious, really good-looking, home. And in the process, we had to set up. And what we found later was there was a setback change. And so what we've had to do is go from a 3-car to a 2-car and shrink. And then we found that during that process that when the standards were established, that we had the right to request a variance on the front and of that setback. So that's what we're currently looking for. It's a beautiful subdivision. The houses on the front, we want them to face forward, and the back of the house could then face the lake. And with this variance, it would allow us to do such. And so what I'd like to do is have maybe Fran speak as she is dealing with the city.
Mr. Smith, how old is this subdivision?
Personally, I don't know, but it's
25 years ago.
Yeah, that was back in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s.
How much exactly variance are you asking for? Is it?
To get the house, to position the house to the street, if we had the original 40, what I could do is take the 3rd car, and then I could move it out to another area, put another garage, architecturally corrected, and we could have a 2-car into this front drive. We could go to the left, to the right. The house would set forward. It would have good visibility, be attractive. Really, it'd be our landmark house for that particular subdivision so that we can get the value straight. And then what it would also do is we have little to no backyard. Even at that time, we probably got a 22-foot backyard. The problem is there's the main road, and then there's a road in the subdivisions.
Right.
And so we're kind of, working on 3 corners, three frontages. And
So you're asking for a 10-foot variance? You'd still have a 30-foot?
What we're looking for is that variance on the front setback to go to a 20-foot, like it was originally displayed. Well, excuse me, it's a 40-foot right-of-way.
Right.
What we would like to do is down that road that dead ends down where we are. I mean, we're not an impact. Everybody to the left, everybody to the right, everybody up and down that road is currently under those previous conditions. And so it would really make the streetscape, consistent, and it would allow us to place a large house that needs to be in that area, and for the county and everybody for that, and then it would also give us the needed room for the backyard. Otherwise, that house is going to fit so close to the street that it's going to, if we did the 30-foot back, they would have virtually little to no house. That 10-foot really is critical for the back of the property and also allowing us to kind of, make it fit. So when we bought the plat, or, when we bought the subdivision, everything showed this on the setback. And so we established a plan for the community, 2,800 to 4,000 square feet. And with this condition, we can't do that. We'd have to get down into some really small homes.
I'll make a motion to approve the 10-foot setback for Lot 11, Majestic Shores.
I'll give you a second on that.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Bennett, second by Commissioner Teasley. Any discussion? If not, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? It's 5-0 vote. Thank you. All right, next is setback variance request, Scott Phillips, Hugh Dorsey Road.
Well, so far, so good. I'm requesting a 15-foot setback variance on the lot at Berry and Hugh Dorsey Road because the lot is odd shaped, and in order to make there used to be a house there already, and they tore it down. And the guy that just bought it wants to put a little bigger footprint there. And you've got core line on two sides, and you got road frontage on two sides. And probably when the subdivision was done, there weren't even any setback regs. But if we can keep the 10-foot setbacks on the two sides and on the front, if we can get a 15-foot variance on the front. So it's 10 all the way around, but I need 25 feet on the front.
How old is this subdivision, Charlie?
Jimmy Moore said it was done in the 60s, and the house that was there was built in 81. It was tore down in 2005.
Yeah, she's not right. It had been late 60s, early 70s when that was first cut in there.
According to the drawing,
If you'll notice house right there beside of it,
Yeah, I took a picture so y'all can kind of see that next door.
it's not in compliance with the 40-foot,
I don't know how they fit that house in that lot.
40-foot setback.
But half of it's on federal government land, and the other half on county land.
Yeah. So, with it being an odd-shaped piece of property, I'll make a motion that we grant the variance.
I'll give you a second.
Any discussion? If not, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? It's 5-0 vote.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to intergovernmental agreement with the City of Hartwell for city elections.
That's the
Ms.
one we
King.
added Bowersville to. We had actually drafted those and circulated those and thought they were coming back to us, and they didn't. So we have obtained the Board of Elections signatures also. And Bowersville has signed and City of Hartwell has signed, and these two just need your approval and/or signature.
All right, we got a motion to adopt, allow me to sign.
So moved.
All right, we got a motion by Commissioner. Second by Commissioner Teasley. Any discussion? If not, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? It's 5-0 vote. All right, then we'll move on to Legacy Link fiscal year 24 local share commitment agreement. That's something we do every year. Go ahead, Terrell.
This is our regular every year document we go through where we agree to match matching funds to their money they give us every year. That's the normal thing we do every year.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve the Legacy Link share commitment agreement with Marshall Sayer to Chairman Marshall Sayer to sign it.
Second.
We got a motion by Commissioner Bennett, second by Commissioner Teasley. Any discussions? If not, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? It's 5-0 vote. Next on the agenda is the naming of road crossing between Byersville Highway and Airline Store, and Commissioner Dorsey asked this to be put on the agenda, so I'll turn the floor over to him at this time.
Currently, this road is just a cut-through road, and it's not named, and it's per our 911 ordinance, all our roads should be named. And it's my recommendation, and I'm going to put in the form of a motion, that we name this road after the owner of the Hartwell Railroad who passed away back in September, Mr. B.R. Anderson. We call it B.R. Anderson Drive.
I second that motion.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Dorsey, B.R. Anderson Drive, and second by Commissioner Bennett. Any discussion?
Sure you don't want to avenue?
Drive fine.
Now you done messed me up.
That's what the plan was.
We'll take a vote. All in favor? It's a 5-0 vote. Thank you. All right. We'll move on to Juvenile Court Risk Reduction Coordinator. Ms. Kim?
Okay, so you all have the emails and the current contract. Kevin McFarland is doing that with the ARPA funds right now, and my understanding is that that system has worked very well from what had been pieced together with prior years. I did talk to Terrell today. We don't know how many other counties are going to participate, but I did call to make clear, because they had a Elbert County contract on the back for you guys to review, and it had $40,000 in that, plus 7.65% for I guess it's the Medicare portion that's due of the salary. And so I called and asked, was that $40,000 per county? And it was no, $40,000 total. They'd actually like to have $50,000. I can't believe anybody would do it for even 50, much less 40. But we do not know how many counties are participating right now, and those funds don't run out until December, so we've got some time. If that's something that y'all want to find out more about, Judge Caswell has agreed to come before you all and kind of explain how that system works. But everyone else has resigned from that system, and so this one person is taking 3 different patched together part-time jobs, and from what I hear is doing a fantastic job with it.
I think we as a board would want to support this, but we need to figure out how we're going to support it. Will we want to do it on percentage basis, or just Hart County cases, and come up with a money figure?
Well, I think your number of Hart County cases is going to change every year.
Right.
I would hope we could do it maybe a percentage based on those participating,
Right.
but I understand we've got one county.
Right, we do. I would, if it's agreeable with the board, could we get Judge Coswell here, and would that be?
My recommendation is if he would come, just ask him to come.
He'll be happy to come.
Okay. Let's see, in the
Carol,
next,
do you hear that?
Say it again.
All right, getting Judge Caswell in to answer some questions about the juvenile position.
at the next meeting, if we can.
I'll give him a call and see if he can get the next meeting.
Okay. All right. You know, and I may be wrong here, but the world we're in now, if we could save one juvenile from going down the wrong road. I mean, we just heard of, and down in Florida, 3 juveniles killed 3 other juveniles. And if we can get these folks into a program where, you know, maybe they've done a lesser crime beside that one decision these guys made that one night is going to follow them the rest of their lives. And if we can get, I'm a supporter of this, if we can get a program such as this to help one child make a right decisions instead of...
I read 2 statements in here that struck me on that same chord. One was a child's file was going through multiple hands without ever coming back to the same set again. This system keeps it in one set of hands that
Right.
can follow this child through the process. The other that I saw was the truancy program that they're running, and that seems to be successful too, and I think that's important too.
So I think our community wants us to support a program like this.
We have paid these positions in the past, right? We just
Right.
paid the pieces
Right,
along the
but-
way. So this may actually be cheaper than what we were doing on a per-hour basis.
We didn't have no problem until that one county had a problem, and then that just throwed everything out, and then we got the American Rescue Plan money, and that's what carried it up to this point. But that's going to run out, so they need another plan. Any other discussion? All right, thank you, Ken.
So we're taking no action on that until we get further information?
That's correct.
We got that file for 13D.
Well, that was in that whole. All right, we come to the agenda time of 14, public comment. Do we have anyone here that would like to speak in public comment? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If you would, state your name and address. All right.
My name is Jim Gaines. I live on Frank Crook Road. I'm here to ask Mr. Dorsey to resign today. If not, then we will take more legal action and we'll get it done. Unless you got some explanations, you need to resign, my friend.
Go ahead.
That's all I got.
Okay, thank
I'm
you.
making you, that's it.
All right. All right, any other comment? Mr. Lear?
You don't have the balance we used to have.
No, I ain't got the balance. I got about 30 pounds or more on me now than I used to. My name's Bill Leard, and I'm representing my family, Leard. We got a little LLC on some land we got out at behind Walmart on Parkdale Road. And I've had an opportunity. This is the second time it's come up. It come up in 21, and it was real close to some issues that were going on with the county right before the moratorium. But it's 56-unit LIHTC apartments, and it's very similar to what, it's the same company that does Juniper Court and Chandler Trace. They've come to us to build do an application for 1 to 2 and 3 bedrooms apartments for homes for apartments, I guess, 56 unit for workforce type housing. It's managed by the same company that manages Chandler Trace and Juniper Court. And the situation there is DCA comes up every year with those point systems for the LIHTC. And some years, it's a point systems. If you get community, you may get 2 extra points. If it's in the county, it gets a certain. This particular year, it gets a certain amount of points that it wouldn't get if it located in the city. Now, that doesn't say that they can't annex it in later on, to get fire and sewer and those kind of things. So I've come to ask 2 things. I mean, I know it's a sort of a different situation with the moratorium on. It's been going on almost 2 years, and it's sort of affecting a lot of people. So I watched a friend of mine the other night, wanted to build some particular apartments and like that, and I'm sure there are other people in our community that's probably struggling in a lot of ways, and I do realize that there is a problem with growth. And I don't know so much of its growth or just catching up from 2007 to 2018 where there wasn't anything being built, But I would like to, I think it's something that Hartwell needs as far as workforce housing, and with everybody needs home, and we're getting rid of some of the dilapidated houses, and people can move into other things. And I can remember when I was a kid, or married. I was a young kid married, 19 years old. We moved into a similar situation as this over the University of Georgia. It was on North Avenue over there, and young college kids took it over. $83 a month for our apartment, $18 for our power, and we moved along as things got better for us. But the big thing I want to do is let you know. I think maybe some of y'all have probably talked to the person, and it is somebody that has history in Hartwell. Juvenile court came in 2007, I believe. So to my knowledge, I don't know they've had any trouble at all out of them since they've been here. And Chandler Trace is probably, 6, 7 years old now, right there on Chandler. So it's a company that we got history with. Those same people will be managing it, and I'm not sure if there's any way to work around the moratorium on this particular thing, because what they like to do is apply for it. If it doesn't get the points and it doesn't score, from my understanding, it's probably 80 applications in the state to choose from. About 30 or 40 is what they'll choose from. And not very often does Hartwell score really high, or score in a location that would score. From my understanding with Sherman, this is a prime time right this minute. So that's the place that it would be at would be right behind Walmart on Parkdale, right across from the little camping center y'all approved a couple of years ago. It's got 20 spots in there. It's got sewer. We got a sewer lift station at the bottom there, and so they'll be hopefully picking up the sewer there if they're later on annexed. But what they need really is approval to go ahead and apply and for it. Like I said, not to say they will get it or won't get it. If you won't get it, my deal's off with them. But later on they may come back when it is more feasible or whatever. But I don't. I'm not asking for something that that you can't do for somebody else. But I do. I think this is something we need, something that would suit Hartwell, something that's proven to have been successful in the past. That's all I got.
When would you have to have an answer?
May 19th, I believe, is the deadline. And the problem is, I don't say a problem. I'd like him to be here, or maybe come. He might possibly come and talk to you at a meeting. The cost of applying is probably in the $40,000 range with environmentals and DCA application fees and things like that. So it's not something that you just do, and think, well, let's throw it in the pot here and check. So there is a fine, short period of time there we can do everything. So it's got to be done pretty quickly. But I would think that, I think as long as he's thinking that something could be worked out with some areas. And basically what they would do is if it was chosen, what DCA would probably do later on as they were scoring it, would be just call the county administrator and say, is this a viable operation? Can it be done here at this site? And is it in the county? And Terrell would say yes or no or something like that. At that time, whatever it's doing.
The moratorium can't be lifted by May the 19th. We worked on it. It can't be lifted.
Well, I'm going to, that's another thing. The comment was made when it started that it was going to affect a lot of people, and it's gone on a long time. And I hope it's still being worked on. I'd like to hopefully have some assurance that it continuously working on it. This is something that does affect everybody, and we're still doing. There's still growth in the county. It's not stopping a lot of things, but it does stop something like this and something.
How many apartments are you talking about?
It's 6. And they're not, I guess they're apartments, they're built in the same standard that junior court and same quality.
It's pretty much apartments.
They're going to build this, it's going to look pretty much exactly like those. Is that what they're proposing?
Best I can, and then it'll have green area and all in that. About 12 acres is what they'll be looking at. Junior court's on 6 acres, I believe. And no, junior court's on, well, about 6 really where it's at. It's got about 9 there, but it fashions off toward the Ridge Road. So it's about twice the land.
So this parcel of land that we're talking about, would it be subdivided in any way, or can you going to subdivide it just for the apartments over here,
Yeah.
and then there'll be some left?
There'll be left, some left.
Okay.
And it'll go back toward Elizabeth Road. That road, family, my mother gave soil for that road back when it was built, so it wasn't there when I was a boy. It was just
Okay. Any other questions?
appreciate it.
Thank you. That's
Thank you,
Bill.
Thank you, Bill.
Yep.
All right, any other public comment?
I might be able to clarify some of your comments.
Okay. Yes.
My name is Edward Libershaw. I work for Nick Sherman, who was the developer of Juniper Court and Chandler Trace. Just to clarify, if you had any additional questions, the idea would be, I think Mr. Lear's property is 33 acres in a kind of turning, twisting pattern, but we would pull probably the westernmost 12 acres. So to say is it being subdivided, not in the conventional sense, it's not going to be lots. It's
Right.
taking his land, carving off a chunk, using all 12 for conventional apartments, rental, not ownership, one entrance road, parking lots. It's not going to be any kind of conventional winding roads with lots.
Right.
But we're proposing, I think it'll end up being 4 buildings. Chandler Trace and Juniper Court are both senior. Senior through DCA, they require elevators. Family, which is what we're proposing for Mr. Leard's site, would be family tenancy. So it comes under different sort of requirements, and it's not as restrictive as seniors. They just don't require elevators. So we're given a little leeway in how we can design the site. With the other two, you pretty much have to have the breezeways with the elevators. So that's one distinction, but it's not subdivided in the sense that I think what initially the moratorium was kind of looking to limit the types of subdivisions and small lots and kind of clean that up. But with that said about the site design, does anybody have further questions that I might be able to answer?
How many units, was he correct? 56
Correct,
units?
56 units, 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms. Probably a pretty even mix, but more 2 bedrooms, probably an equal amount of 1 and 3, so maybe 20, 15 or 16, 17, something like that.
Well, I'm in a little unfamiliar territory here. I'm not sure that this board can grant any promises with a moratorium on.
And it's not so much that we're asking for a promise or for a change. One thing that I've had trouble tracking down is the actual language of the moratorium. I don't know, it may be available, but I could not find it online, and I asked Terrell, and I think he kind of suggested maybe Walter Gordon might have the copy. All I really have to rely on, and in this last Monday night, I was reading the Hartwell Sun, and that's when I learned multifamily was limited. And so when I initially began looking at Hartwell, I saw the moratorium, I saw small lot subdivisions, and I thought, okay, I'm in the clear. We're doing conventional apartments. We're not subdividing. It's 12 acres. It's on a county back road. It kind of didn't fit into what it looked like, the moratorium. And then when I talked to Terrell, he said, no, if you do come for a permit, as of right now, we cannot issue a permit. So, okay, that changes things. Our application deadline is May 19th, and we're sort of in that process of, I've got the environmental consultants spring-loaded, ready to go, and at some point they're going to tell me it's too late. But until we can kind of get an idea of what we will and won't be able to do, everything's kind of hanging. So really, all I'm looking for is clarity. Is this type of conventional multifamily this close to Hartwell, greater Hartwell in the county? Is it the intent of the moratorium to limit that? And that's, it's more just a question. If it is, if we put an application in and there's any question when DCA calls, okay, yeah, it's zoned properly because there isn't a zoning, but they're not going to be able to get a permit. DCA will take our application and throw away $50,000. So if that's the case, it's better for us to know now because we can just scrap the whole thing and hope that maybe in some of the next rounds the site or the area scores as high. Because as Mr. Leard mentioned, we check every year. You know, we checked in 2012. We put a full application in 2015. Everything was perfect. It just didn't score high enough. So that's kind of the chase is, when will Hartwell score high enough? 2021 was close, but not good enough. This year, it's got a great shot. The score is just, it's in the running. So that's where we're at. It's a great chance to do it, but we can't if it's not clear that, you know, or I guess it can't happen if it is absolutely clear that multifamily absolutely is being limited. And even if it's the case that, you know, 2 more 180-day extensions and it's resolved, and then we can get a permit summer of next year, that won't matter if DCA checks now and says, well, the moratorium says you can't have a permit. So that's really all it is. I'm kind of pushing against the deadlines. And I'm just, you know, if it is the case that multifamily in this sense is intended to be prohibited, great, that's one thing. But if it kind of got swept up unintentionally, that's a whole different case. You know, one thing Terrell mentioned was, well, no one has come asking about conventional apartments. So I don't think it has been contemplated, but I understand you can't lift a moratorium. I understand you can't force a subdivision ordinance, but I'm just throwing out ideas. But if it could be the case, we need to request the zoning letter from the county anyway, which would say something along the lines of, because there's no zoning in the county, yes, you know, this is an appropriate use for this parcel, but it would also need to speak to, if it was the case that, yes, the county is under a moratorium, however, this type of proposed development does not fit under the language of the moratorium, if that was the case. But it would need to be crystal clear, so when DCA reads the application, there's no doubt in their mind. If they allocate the resources and it can't be done, then they don't want that. We don't want that.
Well, one of the reasons that, I mean, we had multifamily was prohibited prior to the moratorium for the simple reason the county has no sewer. And I don't know if the state would allow for septic systems on a 52-door apartment, or, you know, that's where we're kind of, that's why the county's had a stance on no multifamily.
Sure, and I guess, I'm sure you're aware, but where Mr. Lear's side is, when Walmart came in, the city ran their lift station right at the corner there of, you know, just down the road from Oakview, on the very edge, the westernmost edge of Mr. Lear's site is the sewer lift station at Parkdale that runs all the way back to the Walmart lot. So sewer is there, and the city would let us use their sewer. I understand you're saying the reason we don't talk about multifamily is because septic and apartments don't work. Right. So that's where we're in this sort of, you know. Yeah,
we're in that land with you. I mean, you know, so
it fits into that realm, and that we're not, you know, I understand you haven't contemplated it because sewer's sewer, but in this case, I don't know, I guess to the extent that there's any special considerations or along those lines, that's that is, something that makes it special, is that there's sewer right there that can be accessed. We're not flushing into a septic field. So, I don't know. And that was kind of, I can read what's in the newspaper, but I don't trust it. I'd rather come here, talk to you all, hear the questions and comments.
It's basically the same situation with Jim McCoy. I know that's been a long time ago.
Yeah, it's before. Yeah.
And you knew when they put there, we're going to be able to, they probably have to, we're not going to have to.
Right.
We're limited doing anything with anybody here. They have to have to. The county water and sewer can't, have to do it. Maybe take the mutual agreement sometimes and with 5, 10 and all would fail on one level like that. But there's opportunity probably there to decide to do it, but you don't need it. Because that sewer system is right on that corner of our property. And it's on, they've got 40-foot easement on that property. 20-foot easement. Tied in all the sewer from all these developments that we've got. It's developed over really from 1986 to now, and these opportunities don't come very often. I can promise you that. We're selling this land for a long time. It's been nice if we can farm it, but we can't do that at 15 with all of us running 18. So this is my mother chose to keep the property and keep developed it. Yes, okay. Continue to do it. We've got other options later on, but I hope that it might work, that we might take another 20 years. This is something that we mix with land like that, give other people in other departments of close locations to schools, to shopping, to the things that we need to fill that life.
But, so again, I'm not trying to ask you to do anything tonight. It's more of, this is where we're at. If I have to take, however much we've already spent and just shelf it, that's fine. I'm really just trying to get an idea if that is the case. If what you're saying is nothing can be done in terms of, yes, there's a moratorium, though, this type of development is not intended to be caught in that dragnet. Or if it is the case that it's just nothing's going to happen, and then I know, okay, we just stop the train now and everyone get off. So that's really all. I wasn't sure if this session was meant for the public comment for this, or if that was for.
No, it's anything.
Well, because I guess the next one, the called meeting, is that just closed? Or is that also open?
We still got to go through the rest of the agenda executive session. Then we're going to have the called meeting and discuss the subdivision ordinance.
So that one is also open?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And I wanted to hop in and make sure I got the public comment. I'm not getting
Okay.
Okay. Well, that's my thoughts, and I appreciate it.
Appreciate your time.
All right, thank you. Anyone else, public comment? Ma'am?
My name is Lisa Wilcox. I live off of Riviera Shores Drive, and I'm coming to you out of frustration. I have talked to code enforcement, the sheriff's office. I have a neighbor who is purposely being a nuisance. And what I mean by that is I have barking dogs that will go for hours. They will put the dogs outside, close their door, and just let them bark. Tried to speak to him about it. He's not willing to negotiate, talk it over, compromise whatsoever. The other thing that he has is a camera. I've had the sheriff's department out there twice. The first time he had the camera focused directly on us, on our house. The officer went over, talked to him. There was nothing issued, no kind of, other than you probably shouldn't do that. 2 weeks later, we're out in the yard working, and we're watching this camera follow us as we work in the yard. Now, keep in mind, there's a 6-foot concrete wall between us, which we built because of encroachment by him for many years. We've talked to, I said, code enforcement, the sheriff's office, and everyone's like, we can't do anything about it. To me, that's like a peeping Tom that they can do from their chair. They're just not standing out there. They can be in their living room doing that. The other thing is I have a picture of he's got this beacon of a light that is obscene, and I wanted to show it to you. I don't have it on, didn't send it to anyone, but it's to the point that you can't enjoy the backyard in any shape or form.
Now, where are you standing at when you took that picture?
This is in my center.
Well, where's the light at now?
Light's over here.
Oh, it's over to the right.
Yes.
So it's not shining directly in your room?
No, but I can't enjoy the backyard at night whatsoever because it is like...
But it's light burned all night?
It does. Except for when he has family or friends, then it gets shut off. So what I'm asking is, I will do the work. I didn't prepare much to come here because I wanted to know if it was an option to get ordinances against this kind of behavior. Like I said, we've tried every option to be good neighbors, and he's just not willing to do that. I can't imagine that we're the only ones that are dealing with all these cameras, because everybody's got cameras now, and it's an invasion of privacy as far as I'm concerned. I don't want to go out in the yard because I don't know what he's doing.
Well, number one, there's no noise ordinance in Hart County. And the number two, on the cameras, like you said, everybody's got them, and they're just protecting themselves. I mean, I don't know about as far as...
We've had no theft, we've had no issues, but the fact that it's following me in my yard is where I have the problem with a 6-foot wall. So he's mounted this camera above that wall so he can see into our yard. To me, it's very creepy.
But there's no law against it. No ordinance against it.
Right, so I guess my question is this, would you consider addressing this in the ordinances? Because having lights like that, dogs barking perpetually, and a camera like that, that really takes away from the use of my own property.
Well, right now, there's a guy down in Cokesbury, got a neighbor next door that's got 20 dogs tied out. And there's nothing we can do about it. I mean, I haven't even brought this to, I think I mentioned it to Chairman Sayer, but there's nothing we can do. He's got 20 dogs, and I went down there, and it's unreal. But there's nothing nobody can do because there's no noise ordinance. And we're an agricultural community, so therefore that's why there's no noise ordinance.
Is that something we could bring forward?
Let us have time to communicate with our county attorney, then we go from there. I mean, we can't give you an answer tonight.
I mean, I've been here 20 years, and this gentleman was okay, he wasn't great, and then since he's retired, I think he's just got too much time on his hands. But I don't even feel comfortable going in my own yard. And I don't think that's what most people would want.
That's the email I forwarded to y'all.
So, all right, thank you for your time.
Thank you, ma'am.
Today? All right. Anyone else for public comment?
Make a motion, we go into executive session, personnel litigation.
Second.
Okay, I got a motion by Commissioner Dorsey. Go into executive session, personnel and litigation. Got a second by Commissioner Brown. Any discussion? If not, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? It's a 5-0 vote. All right. And then after we're done with that, I'm sorry, we need to make a motion for executive session.
Make a motion.
Yeah, we
Second.
need a motion to,
Second.
all right, and back into regular session. Commissioner Bennett and made the motion, and Commissioner Brown second. All in favor? It's a 4-0 vote. Commissioner Dorsey had a prior engagement, so he's going to it. Need a motion for the creation of GIS assistant along with tax appraiser.
I'll make a motion to create the new position of GIS assistant to work with the tax appraiser's office.
Second.
All right. Any discussion? We'll call for a vote. All in favor? Where's Frankie at?
He in the bathroom.
All right.
3-0's majority wins.
Okay. Get a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion, we adjourn and enter into a work session.
Second?
With a 5-minute break.
Yes, absolutely, 5-minute break, maybe 6.
Okay. Second by Commissioner Bennett. All in favor? All right.
Majority wins again.
Yeah.